Well, you know what? I thought it would be okay to shamelessly advertise the New Year's group. We still do have shares left. You know, when I made the last group, I said I don't want to group everybody out, right? I don't want to put too many groups out there and not make it as exclusive as it is. So what would change? So right before New Year's, we had some people that were asking for shares of two horses that had no shares available, a Moordiner and Arches Rainbow. Those were horses that were sent here by breeders or were sent here privately, and there were no shares available. At the same time, all the shares of Renegade Gypsy had disappeared, and now people were starting to understand how good this colt looked. If you were at the farm in person at any point before the lockdown or otherwise, or if you paid very close attention to how good Renegade Gypsy looks, it's not that shocking people would be interested in wanting to buy into them. Those three horses, you couldn't buy shares of them anywhere. So I said to myself, you have Arches Rainbow, a Moordiner, Renegade Gypsy. I knew where there were shares of all three. And I said, you know what? Rose above it. Here's a horse that shouldn't have any shares left, and now he does not either. This is a horse that is a first foal out of a sister to Muscle Mass and Muscle Massive. Has looked great every single time he's got on the track under the drone. Horse that I went with and I trained, I thought he was fantastic. Good looking horse, PA bred Cantab Hall colt. Why don't we throw a couple of race horses in there? Also, shares you can't find. At the time, White Tiger just got beat. Looked good. I made a break the other day, but I suspect he'll be headed to the winner's circle next week if I can go over and drive him on Thursday. And then I had another horse who looked really good. Second, his first two lifetime starts, headed to the U.S. Jesse Balboa finished fifth, his first start. And then we were offered money for him. We sold him. So I said, how am I possibly going to reconcile all this? How am I going to reconcile the sale of Jesse Balboa? What am I going to do with the New Year's group? It's quite simple. I had priced Jesse Balboa at 24,000 Canadian. We sold him at 22,000 American, which is roughly around 28,000 Canadian. So I made it very simple. There's 16, 17 shares left now, maybe a few less of the New Year's group. I'm going to give everybody the money back when they get in. So I don't mean I'm going to refund them. I'm going to let everybody buy in to that group. We're going to pretend that Jesse Balboa was ours all along, the whole group. You're going to get your percentage of the fifth place finish. You're going to get your percentage of 22,000 US, 28 Canadian almost. You're going to theoretically pay $240 to get it. So we bought 20%. The New Year's group bought 20% of Jesse Balboa at $240 Canadian. He is going to be sold for the group. That 20% is going to be paid out at almost $280 Canadian. Whether you buy in today or whether you already bought in, but when the group's closed, it's closed. But until it's closed, I'm just going to let everybody in and get money out to begin with. So you can buy into this group, I believe, for $384.65, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what it is. That will get you 20% of Arches Rainbow. There'll be no shares available of Arches Rainbow from here till June. None. Renegade Gypsy, sold out. You can get 20% of him also in this group. White Tiger, we're offering 10%. I could only get 10. Amy would kill me. 10% of White Tiger is in this group. 20% of Jesse Balboa. 20% of a Moordiner, another horse. You're not going to find any shares of this guy anywhere. And Rose Above It is also sold out. 20% of him is in this group also. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 horses that are sold out. One horse that is sold. And another horse you're not going to find any shares of anywhere. So the New Year's group is a pretty solid group overall. I think we did have 2 racehorses in it. Now we have 1, but that's the way it is. Most importantly, I need to make this clear. Any of these horses, when they leave to go to the States, I had told everybody the training rate for this group would be $24 per 1% ownership per month. So for you to own 1% of this group, it would be $24 per share. We have 20, 40, 50, 70, now 90 shares. So 92 is 18, 94 is... I'm going to say it's around $22 a month for the bill. Now, when these horses go to the States, I can't help what the American trainers charge. Those are third-party vendors. Those charges will be passed on, and they're not going to be $24 a share. I needed to make this clear from the start. In the other groups, also, was that yes, Renegade Gypsy, Renegade Gypsy, Arches Rainbow, Amor Dina, Rose Above It, when they're training down, I have complete control over the billing for those horses. But when they go to the States, I don't. Those bills will be passed on to our group. Now, it's not a lot, but I will say that with Cruising in Style racing over there and one other racehorse, the per share amount for the Ohio group went from $29 to $40, I believe. So instead of paying $29 Canadian for that month, you would have paid $40. So it is a little bit more, but nevertheless, it still is a pretty good deal, I believe. So for the New Year's group, Arches Rainbow 20%, Renegade Gypsy 20%, Jesse Balboa is sold, but we did own 20% of him. White Tiger 10%, Amor Diener, and Rose Above It 20% of each. So 2 Ontario breds, 2 Pennsylvania breds, and a racehorse are left right now in that group. 16 or 17 shares are still available. If you want to partake in that group, then let me know. I'd be happy to hook you up. So that is last call. The last call. You will get a video for the New Year's group. We've formed it. It will be the last one of the season. If you're interested, drop me a line. Take care.